Namami Buddham Gunasaagarantam Santa Sada Hontu Sukhi Avera Kayo Jiguncho Sakalo Dugando Ganchanti Sambe Maranam Mahancha Samanta Cakkavalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Sandhamman Munirajassa Sunanto Sagga Mokkadam Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Namo Thansa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhansa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhansa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhansa Asmin Sati Idang Hoti Asmin Asati Idang Hoti Imassa Uppada Idang Uppanjati Imassa Nirodha Imang Nirujjati Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in the Dhamma, today we are going to explain a very special topic in Buddhism, the Paticcasamuppada, the dependent origination. Actually, this is the heart of Buddhism. This is the identity of Buddhism. And as much as we listening to Buddha's message, the knowledge of our dependent origination gradually increases. You know, when we listening to Buddha's message, our intelligence, wisdom gradually increases. What is the intelligence or wisdom that Buddha has explained? There are several synonyms about panya or intelligence or wisdom. Samma ditti, ditti sampanna. These are the synonyms in Pali language. How do we improve our understanding, right vision about Buddhism? What are the reasons, what are the causes of improving our wisdom, knowledge? Yes, listening to what Buddha taught. And when we are going to listening to Buddha's message, you know, we should have good association, noble association, that, you know, Kalyana Mitra Asraya, that is very important. When we receive Kalyana Mitra Asraya, the association of good friends, we are humble to listen what they say. And we have good attention. We have active listening about what they say. And through listening to Buddha's message, we improve our understanding. What is the understanding that we improve through listening to Buddha's message, Buddha's teachings? Knowledge or intelligence can be divided into two. What they are? The knowledge of the karmic law. That is one of the intelligence that we should increase through listening to Buddha's message. The second one is the understanding of the dependent origination. Both of them are very important. At the very beginning, Buddha has explained the path of heavenly path, heavenly way. How we go to the good life, blissful life, like heavenly life or human life. That is our foundation. We can guarantee when we die. Therefore, first of all, we should have good foundation that surely we are going to a good life after death. For that, we have to improve our knowledge of karmic law. What is the nature of the karmic law? We understand whatever we do with intention, we will have the same result. If we do something verbally, physically or mentally with intention, we will have the same results. Volitional actions. Volitional actions have same results. And if we do something with impure mind, we will have the bad results, evil results. On the other side, if we do something with pure mind, we will have the good results because of pure mind. If we have this understanding, we try to improve good karmas, good volitional karmas, actions, and also we try to reduce unwholesome actions. That is the first step that we should develop as much as we are knowledgeable about what Buddha said. That is very important. The results are not hereafter. Most of results can be seen in this short life itself. If we have this understanding, we don't like evil results. And also we like fruitful results. Therefore, always we try to keep our mind pure and calm. We do everything keeping our mind pure and calm. Then we can see the result in this life. When we have this understanding about the karmic law, we try to practice especially 3 meritorious deeds. As I mentioned before, there are 3 meritorious deeds. What they are? Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Generosity, morality and meditation. These are the 3 main wholesome deeds. Then always we are generous. Always we spend a virtuous life. And also always we try to develop our mental culture. This is the first step of the path of liberation. And on the other side, not only Buddhists practice good deeds, but other religious people also practice good deeds. They take care of their parents, they help other innocent people, they respect their elders and virtuous persons, they do their jobs very well in righteous way. Many people who are educated in the world, even though they have no particular religion, they practice good deeds. Even though they don't believe next birth, actually most of people in the society, they are good people. They are virtuous persons. They do their activities in the righteous way. Therefore, they can be reborn in a good life as a human being or heavenly being. And the special thing that Buddha has explained, the second level in intelligence. What is the second level of intelligence? The understanding of the dependent origination and also the understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Understanding of the dependent origination and understanding of the dependent origination Again, understanding of the Four Noble Truths and understanding of the dependent origination are together. They are combined. As much as we are knowledgeable about the dependent origination, we know the Four Noble Truths. As much as we know the Four Noble Truths, we are knowledgeable about the Eightfold Path. As much as we know the Eightfold Path, we practice 5 spiritual faculties. Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. Confidence in the Buddha's enlightenment, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. As much as we practice these 5 spiritual faculties, we are sure that we never are reborn in hell realms. We are sure that we will be reborn in a good life, like as a human being or heavenly being. When we practice these 5 spiritual faculties, then we are knowledgeable about the 3 characteristics. What are the 3 characteristics? Anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering or unsatisfactoriness, anatta, egolessness or selflessness. As much as we are knowledgeable about the 3 characteristics, we have vidya vimukti. Vidya means comprehension or knowledge, and also vimukti means liberation. What are the liberations that we should achieve? Decay, jara, vyadi, sickness, death, marana, lamentation. These are the challenges. These are the difficulties that we face in this life. If we like to overcome these difficulties in this life, actually Buddha kindly advised us to practice this path. Other religions have explained their liberation, their freedom, after they will die. After they will go to near their God, they will have the liberation. But the special thing in Buddhism, if we practice this teaching, we can achieve the destination before death. After we will become enlightenment, we can live with our parents, with our children in the same house. That is the interesting thing. King Suddhodana attained enlightenment. Actually, first when Buddha came to his hometown, King Suddhodana attained the first level of his enlightenment, Sotapanna, and later he became Anagami level. Then in the same day when he died, he attained enlightenment. Buddha was near him and keeping his head kindly, and Buddha explained the very deep doctrines in Buddhism, and finally he could attain enlightenment in the day when he died. Okay, however, I try to explain you the path of liberation, and especially when the day that Buddha enlightened, Buddha realized what are the reasons of suffering that people suffer in the world. When Buddha attained enlightenment, before 2000 605 years ago. Now, how many years that we have passed in the way of the Buddha? 2560. Buddha passed away before 2506 years ago. And plus 45. Buddha attained enlightenment at the age of 35. As a Buddha, he spent 45 years. He passed away at the age of 80. Okay? And before 2605 years ago, Buddha attained enlightenment. When he was near the enlightenment, very early morning, Buddha reflected on the world reality. He realized what are the reasons of suffering that people suffer in the world. First, Buddha realized why people are suffering. What are the sufferings that people have in the world? Decay or aging, sickness, death, lamentation. These are the sufferings people have in the world. Buddha understood what is the nearest reason of these sufferings, sorrows. What is the nearest reason of these difficulties? Yes, very good. Birth is the very nearest cause of suffering. What is the cause of suffering? What is the reason of suffering? Why we were born in the world? Yes, craving also one of the reasons, but I'm asking you what is the very closest, very nearest reason? Becoming bhava. Yes, bhava is the nearest reason of birth. What is the bhava? In common sense, what is the nature of bhava or becoming? You know, when you think about your children, about your house, about your parents, if you think they are there, they are at home, then you are ready to go, come back. Don't worry, you are in the world circle. Before you go to the mirror, if you think your reflection is there, you are ignorant. Before you go to your home, if you think home is there, it is like somebody sees that reflection is in the mirror before we go there. After we leave mirror, if we think still the reflection is there, that is also ignorant. Our whole life is like that. If we think, before I go home, they were there, and also although after I leave there, they remain. That is the ignorance. That is the nature of becoming. And if you think in good way with meritorious deeds, then don't worry, you will become as a good life, as a good person. But however, we are still in the circle of samsara. That is the nature of bhava. How we think overcoming bhava, becoming. The example is the mirror. If we are completely knowledgeable, if we are completely aware of the reflection of the mirror about our whole experience in our day-to-day life that we receive through our six senses, then we have overcome becoming. Not only we have overcome becoming, we have overcome birth, and also we have overcome all sufferings, decay, aging, sickness, death, everything we have overcome. Living with our children, living with our parents, we have overcome suffering. It doesn't mean that we don't do our jobs, we don't study. Actually, we do all activities like we did before. Not like we did before. We do all of them better than we did before. Okay? What is the reason of becoming? Why we have bhava? Upadana paccaya bhava. The reason of becoming is clinging. Clinging. Upadana paccaya bhava. Upadana means it is very close to craving. We can't separate both of them. It is very close. What is the reason of clinging? Craving, desire, lustful desire, or attachment. What is the cause of craving? Or feelings. Feelings means we get feelings through six senses. Sometimes good feelings, sometimes negative feelings we have. It is also impermanent. What is the reason of feelings? Passa paccaya vedana. Passa means contact. Contact means that when we see something, the picture doesn't come to our eyes. We see only the color. Do you think that the picture comes to our eyes? Do you think? If it happens when we see fire, what happens to our eyes? It is burned. Pictures or things which is in outside don't come to our eyes. We have only the color. Then we create the persons inside according to our feelings, according to our mental formations. What is the reason of contact? The nearest reason of contact, the six senses. Eye, ear, nose, these are the senses. How six senses arise? Six senses means arising six senses with ignorance, not just senses. Even though, Arahantas, Buddha also had six senses. But those senses are very pure and calm. They reflect on the world as it is. But when we look at something, when we hear something, the thing is outside. When you hear something, when you smell something, when you see something, if you think the thing is outside, then We have benefits. Don't worry. We have a dowry. What is the dowry that we have? If you think that the sin is outside, decay, aging, sickness, death, those are the bonus benefits that you have. Don't worry, you have many dowries. Still you are in the circle of samsara if you think the things are outside. When we go to the mirror, if we think the reflection in outside, then we are ignorant. Mirror is outside. Reflection also outside, but the reflection arises because of we, because of us. If we have this understanding, we can go to the mirror. We can clean our body. It is not the fault. But we never go to keep the picture. If we want a beautiful picture, reflection in the mirror, we never change the mirror. If we want a beautiful picture, figure, reflection, we clean here. If you want a smile person, you smile here, then you can see a smiling person. If you want a happy person, you should be happy in this way. Then you can see a happyful person, happy person. Then suffering doesn't arise in outside. Suffering arises inside. If we can change our attitude, wisdom, into the correct way, we can overcome suffering. What is the reason of six senses? The reason of six senses is Nama Rupa. Nama means mind, Rupa means matter, Nama means mental phenomena, Rupa means physical phenomena. And this is also together. And why Nama Rupa arises? Nama Rupa arises because of consciousness. Actually, it is very close. It has a very small difference between consciousness and mind. Later we will discuss it. What is the reason of consciousness? The reason of consciousness is sankhara, or mental formations or volitional actions. Why volitional actions arise? Because of ignorance. Actually, these phenomena, these reasons very quickly arise. Although we can see order one by one. When we see something, when we hear something, suddenly we think without mindfulness that, when somebody does some sound, if we change our head very quickly without mindfulness, it means we are ignorant. We think there is some person outside. Actually, according to conventional truth, it is true. But when we go to the ultimate truth, the world is here because of me. And when Sariputta was going somewhere, I think for begging food, one day Reverend Sariputta, the Buddha's chief disciple, when he was going for dana or somewhere, then a very cruel devil hit Reverend Sariputta. If other person was hit by that person, suddenly that person would have to unconsciousness. But Reverend Sariputta didn't look at even him. Suddenly, he was mindful, and actually, Arahantas usually they are always mindful, and it doesn't mean that he didn't feel the bad situation. Actually, he felt it, but he understood the situation because with mindfulness and wisdom. And these are the reasons that Buddha reflected on what happens to the world when he attained enlightenment in a Vesak full moon day. One by one, he reflected on one by one. He thought, he comprehended, he realized what is the reason of death and lamentation, and also he reflected on what is the reason of birth, and one by one he reflected everything up to ignorance. Then, if we can understand that if we have any experience through our senses, that experience arises at the moment with the conditions. That experience doesn't come to the present from the past. That experience doesn't go to the future from the present. It arises and ceases at the moment with the conditions. Then we have overcome ignorance. Then, if we have overcome ignorance, then mental formations, volitional formations don't arise with ignorance. And also then consciousness can arise, but consciousness with ignorance doesn't arise if we have intelligence. Even Arahantas, they can see a person. They can associate with a person. They can understand who are coming. But they are like when they go to the mirror. Even Arahantas have gone to visit their parents. We are also going to visit our parents. We are going to visit our mother or father who helped us, who fed us, the previous persons. But when Arahantas go to visit their parents, they are like the people that when we go to the mirror. When we go to the mirror, we never think that my reflection on there. We go to the mirror to see our figure or reflection, which arises as soon as we go there. The attitude of Arahantas also like that. It doesn't mean that they are not grateful. Actually, Arahantas and Buddhas are the most grateful persons in the world. We are also grateful. We pay our gratitude for our parents, our children. We do only taking care of them. We give food, clothes and medicine for them. We give food for their physical body, but Arahantas, Buddhas give food for their mind. That is the difference. Okay, according to dependent origination, when we have this understanding, we know the suffering. What is the suffering? Buddha explained 5 aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Matter or forms, feelings. These are the 5 aggregates. If we have any kind of experience through our senses, it means 5 aggregates. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana arise at the moment. That is the bottom level thing that we have. For example, you may think that I have a car, I have a vehicle. When you sleep, do you sleep in the vehicle? No. Actually, sometimes when we sleep, we don't know even we have a physical body. How we mention that I have a car, I have a vehicle, I have children, I have a child, I have a house. When we are dreaming, we don't know even we have a body. Physically, we have these instruments, persons and goods in the world. But finally, we have only the 5 aggregates. That is the bottom level. If we have any kind of experience through our senses, it means these 5 aggregates arise at the moment. Not only arising, but immediately it ceases. But our ignorance says that still it is happening. Then we are ready to come back to the world. If we come to the world, we have not only a blissful life. When you were born in the world, you are like a flower. Your mom thought that you are like a flower. They have given you a blissful life. But even though they have given you a blissful, very beautiful life, before you came to the world, they prepare clothes, beds, rooms, everything they prepared for you. However, after we come to the world, they have done your parents' duty, but we have other things, our other challenges. What they are? As soon as your mom delivered you to the world, she kept you in a vehicle. That vehicle day by day go forward with a white flag. Where? To the cemetery. You do everything. You are playing, you are studying, you are going to the parties, you are struggling with other people, you are getting married, you do everything in that vehicle, shaking white flag. And we are so lucky. We have not only a white flag, we have a Buddhist flag. That is the safety. That is the refuge for our life. We can overcome, we can get rid of white flag before go to the cemetery. If we are intelligent, if we receive this message to our life, if we are clever to practice these teachings, then we can change the color of the white flag. Then we are so lucky. Even though we received a blissful life, we can't overcome decay, aging, sickness, death, except practice what Buddha taught. If we are clever to understand what Buddha said, and also if we are clever to practice this message through our life, then we can overcome suffering before death. That is the good benefit that we have. Okay, then the first truth among Four Noble Truths is suffering. What is the suffering? Arising of five aggregates with ignorance. Before we see something, before we hear something, if we think there is something in the world, and also after we experience, we think it remains, that is the ignorance. If we are clever to overcome this misunderstanding, delusion, ignorance, then we are ready to go on this path of deliverance. Then, the suffering is the first truth of Four Noble Truths, five aggregates. If we have this understanding, we know the reason. The closest reason is craving, desire, attachment. Attachment arises because of ignorance. Even though Buddha has explained the closest reason of suffering is craving, we can directly overcome craving or desire. We should develop our intelligence, wisdom. Until we know that the reflection of mirror is here, we have attachment. Until we overcome ignorance of that the reflection is there, then we have attachment. We have no excuse. That is why some pets, dogs, cats, they are fighting with the reflection of the mirror. Until they are intelligent, until they are wise, they can't overcome attachment. If we have attachment, then what is the opposite of attachment? What is the opposite of desire? Anger. Desire and anger are like the both sides of the same coin. When your children have misbehavior, you get angry. When your neighbor's children are doing bad deeds, are you angry? No, you don't get angry. When your children have misbehaviors, you are upset, you get angry. What is the reason? Attachment, desire. You think these children are mine. I, my, mine. Mama, mage, mage atme. Then, until we overcome ignorance, we have attachment. When we have attachment, then automatically anger comes. That is why Kamaraga and Patiga. Kamaraga means lustful desire. Patiga means ill will or anger. Both are increased in the same spiritual level in Anagami. When one ceases, then other thing is automatically ceases. Both of them are like both sides of the same coin. When you throw a coin, both sides go together. Then the main root of both of them is ignorance. When we know very well, when we go to the mirror, the reflection arises because of me, then I have no big attachment with the reflection of the mirror. If I haven't big attachment, then I have no anger or ill will. Then, what is the second cause, second truth among Four Noble Truths? Craving or desire. The third one, the first one is suffering or unsatisfactoriness, dukkha satya. The second one is samudaya satya, the origin of suffering, the cause of suffering. That is craving. Craving arises because of ignorance. And if you want to overcome desire, you have to overcome ignorance. We can control in some levels, but it is not the complete situation, it's complete solution. All of them are impermanent solutions. For the certain solution, we have to overcome ignorance. And what is the cessation of suffering? The cessation of suffering is the cessation from craving and ignorance. What is the path that leads to get rid of suffering or unsatisfactoriness? The Eightfold Path. In short, 3 disciplines. What they are? Virtue, concentration, and wisdom. First, we should be knowledgeable about this path. That is why Buddha said, Janato aham bhikkhave passato asavana khayang vadami. I declared the path for the people who know this message, who see this message. Before you start a journey where you didn't go before, first of all, what you should have? Map or address. You should know the address or map where you are going to. Without understanding of address, even though you drive fast, you can't reach the destination. Your effort is useless. That is why Buddha said, before you start this spiritual path, deliverance path, first of all, we should have clear understanding where we are going to, what we practice. And also, what are the results when we achieve the final destination? What is the experience of the Arahanta? He is like the person who goes to the mirror. It doesn't mean in that he doesn't his duties. Actually, he does everything that he can do. Sometimes he sleeps 1 hour per day. He dedicates his entire life for the people in the world kindly. He is the active person in the world. He is not lazy. Even though he attained enlightenment, he is not lazy. He is so active person to deliver this message to other people too, because his kindness. And dependent origination and Four Noble Truths are interrelated. As much as we are knowledgeable about the Eightfold Path, and we know very well the Four Noble Truths, then if we know the Four Noble Truths, we are hurried to practice this message. What is the reason? This Dhamma is sanditiko, visible result. Akaliko, immediately effective. The results are not hereafter, next life. As much as we have courage, intelligence, honesty, dedication, we can receive the result. We can get the result. That is why we always put it in front. Our spiritual goals we should put front. Other all things are secondary. Feeding our children, helping our parents, we do everything secondary. Actually, we do everything better than we did before. And while we are doing other things, always we practice mindfulness. We do everything with mindfulness in impermanence. Then from morning to night, we are in a meditation hall. If you do everything with mindfulness, keeping your mind in the present moment, seeing impermanence and egolessness, then don't worry. Even though you are away from the temple, you are in a meditation hall. When you drive on a freeway, that is your meditation path. You practice loving kindness, breathing, and you are mindful, then nobody can disturb your peace of mind. Whenever you are angry, whenever you have big attachment, you laugh yourself. That, you think that I have a misunderstanding. Then reason is here. When you get angry, don't criticize others. The reason of fault is inside. When you have big attachment with a person in outside, the reason is here. Little by little, when we clean, when we purify our mind, then gradually wisdom grows up. Then anger and big attachment go away. And also on the other side, we develop our loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy and equanimity. Now you help your children for preparing food, education and other things. You give all things for their physical body. When you are knowledgeable with this understanding, you give them something for their mind, for their mental culture. Not only for your children, but everybody that you have, before they will die, you try to increase their mind with spirituality. What is the reason? One day, when you go away from them, you will be so sad. You will worry. If you have helped them to improve their spirituality, you have no suffering. What is the reason? You are sure that they will have better life. Because you have helped them to improve their spirituality. Then that is why Buddha said, if you have close friend or relative, if he or she is ready to listening to what you say, please help them to improve their understanding of the Four Noble Truths. If they have good attention, if they are ready to listening what you say, if they are not ready, we have nothing to do. If they are ready to what you say, please help them to improve their knowledge about the Four Noble Truths. How to get rid of suffering. How suffering arises and also how we overcome suffering. When we experience something through our senses, if our mind go to outside and if our mind ගිලා බහිනවට කොහමද කියන්නේ? බැස ගන්නවට? යමක දැස ගන්නවට? Synth. Yes. If our mind thinks in outside a person or thing, it means we have suffering. We can see anything. We can hear anything. Buddha doesn't say that you have to close your eyes or ears. Open your eyes, open your ears. It doesn't matter. The fault is, if we are not mindful, that is the fault. If we have no understanding about this process, that is the fault. And day by day, we should go forward with this understanding. The first level of this situation is the knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Day by day, you should clear your knowledge about the dependent origination and Four Noble Truths, and also five aggregates. On the other side, you should reflect on it again and again. When you are in the shiny room, you have good attention. You are like ascetic people when you are here. But sometimes when you are away from here, you are like common people. When people are here, they are so pleasant and calm. They are so quiet. After the sermon, when they go to the downstairs, in front of the food, the people are surprised what they are doing. The neighbors who doesn't know Buddhism, they are looking at us. What happens to them? Actually, when they have parties, they have good discipline. They are sitting in a chair, very pleasant. They are singing very slowly. Even though they don't know the Buddhism, they have more discipline. After some sermons, they may be surprised what happens to them. They are like the people who are in the lunatic asylum. So sad. Actually, we should have good discipline not only in the shiny room, but we should reflect on after we have some kind of sermons. We should reflect on it again and again. Then automatically we have discipline in our behavior and speech. As much as we are knowledgeable, the very nearest thing that change in our life is, our words. We have good discipline in our speech. We control our speech. We protect our speech and behavior. And that is the thing, reflection also very important. Listening, reflecting, and also practice. How we practice? Through concentration and insight meditation. These are the meditation techniques that day by day we go forward. Our success in spirituality depends on how far we dedicate our life for practicing mindfulness and wisdom. Day by day, we should increase the duration that we practice mindfulness, samatha meditation. Day by day. From minute to minute, we have increased the duration, the time that we practice meditation. Not only sitting meditation, but when we drive, we can keep our attention in the same object. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. Again and again, when we drive, we can think. And also we can keep our attention around here. Keeping our attention the sign of mindfulness, we can do everything. Then we are silent. Our face is inside. Now we are searching happiness from outside. When people are talking with us a lot, we are so happy. When people don't talk with us, we are so sad. They have neglected me. I am so sad. I am like a beggar. Beggar always keeping his hand outside. Please help me. Please laugh with me. Please give me something. We are also like that. Actually, when we start this journey, Buddha said, Atta Depa Bhikkhave Viharatatta Sarana, be a lamp yourself, not any refuge from outside. The refuge from outside is impermanent. The real safe or refuge arises inside. Then we are silent. We dedicate our life to practice our inner peace. Buddha said, the protection, the refuge of 5 senses is mind. We have 6 senses, eyes, ear, nose, like that. It's mind. For these 5 senses, the refuge is mind. What is the refuge for the mind? Mindfulness is the refuge for the mind. What is the refuge for the mind? The refuge for the mind is, liberation from evils, liberation from ignorance, ill will and desire. Vimukti. Vimukti is the refuge for the mindfulness. What is the refuge for liberation? Nirvana or enlightenment is the refuge for liberation. Enlightenment is the refuge for the liberation. Liberation is the refuge for the mindfulness. Mindfulness is the refuge for the mind. Mind is the refuge for 5 senses. Therefore, if we like our life, we have to protect our mind. We have to add mindfulness to our mind. If we exactly love our life. If we have no mindfulness, it means our mind is helpless, formless. Then, if we like our mind, we have to add mindfulness to our mind. If we are with mindfulness, Buddha said we are in the land of the Buddha. If we are away from the mindfulness, it means we are in the land of the Mara. Then day by day, we should try to increase the time that we are in the land of the Buddha with mindfulness. Then for that situation, the understanding of the dependent origination is very important, Then with the practicing of 3 disciplines, virtue, tranquility and wisdom, day by day we increase the knowledge of 3 characteristics: impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and egolessness. Then we are not afraid of impermanence. Now we are afraid of impermanence. After this experience, impermanence is like our nearest friend. What is the reason? Always we live reflecting on impermanence. Then, as much as we have knowledge about impermanence, then we never think other things as certain. When they change, when they are out of control, we know very well this is the nature of the life. we are ready to face those difficulties. We are already have trained our mind to face those challenges in our life. Day by day, we go forward with this understanding. On the other side, as a layperson, you have to earn money. You have to feed your children. It is your duty. Actually, you do everything very well while you are practicing this message. But always we think our real refuge is practicing our mind. Even though we have good children who have good education, we know one day they go away from us. They will say bye. They go away with a wife or husband. You will be alone. If you are with mindfulness, you are not alone. Even though you have 100 children who have studied very well, who are well educated, if you are not mindful, you are alone. You are helpless. Because they can protect your mind when you go to the next life. Not only going to next life, when you are suffering, they can't help you, even though they are very clever doctors and professors. They can't help you. Our real refuge is our mind. Not only just mind, the mind with mindfulness is the real refuge for our entire life. That we should day by day increase mindfulness and wisdom. For that, listening to what Buddha taught is very important. Day by day, we should increase our knowledge about the dependent origination, 5 aggregates, 4 noble truths, and also day by day, we should increase the duration, the time that we practice mindfulness and wisdom. And also day by day, we should develop our meditation duration, meditation time. Day by day, we should increase it. It means day by day, we are getting rid of suffering. When we are aging, when we are going to sicknesses, when we are reaching death, we can overcome suffering if we have practiced these teachings in our life. For that, we also should have good qualities at the very beginning. What are the primary qualities that we should have at the very beginning on this path? All of them are like in the airport. Even though you are very rich, even though you are well educated, even though you have bought a ticket, air ticket, never flight comes to your house. You have to go to the airport. This is the facilities where it is in airport. Before you go to the airport, what you should have? According to Buddhism, in liberation path, not the just path. Honesty, loving kindness, intelligence, gratitude. What they are? Honesty, intelligence, loving kindness, gratitude. These are the primary qualities which promote you to go to airport. Then, when you go to the airport, everything is ready for you. What is the honesty? Honesty. And what is the intelligence? Intelligence means the knowledge about the deliverance path, what we explained. And also loving kindness. Buddha said in Karanimetta Sutta, he who wishes to attain inner peace has to practice loving kindness. If you don't practice loving kindness, it means that you didn't feel even the shadow of the Dhamma. Until you start practice loving kindness, you don't start the path of liberation. And also gratitude. What is the gratitude? What gratitude that you should pay? Gratitude that we pay to the Buddha and his teachings and his noble disciples. That is the highest gratitude. Not only pay your gratitude for your parents. How do we pay our gratitude to the Buddha? Listening to what he said and practice what he said as much as you can. That is the highest way that we pay our gratitude to the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. You know, when Buddha was getting ready to pass away, some, ordinary monks were crying. One of monks went to outside and meditated very fast. He wanted to attain enlightenment before Buddha passing away. Buddha said, that a monk's name was Dhammagaru. Buddha said, Dhammagaru is the real person who pays gratitude to me in the correct way, not other monks who are crying. Buddha never wished that we worship him, we offer something to him. Actually, we do those things when we purify our mind, we pay our gratitude doing these kind of activities, but it is not the real way how we pay our gratitude to the Buddha. If we love the Buddha, we have to listen to these sermons and we have to practice in our day-to-day life as much as we can. What are the primary qualities that we should have before the airport? Honesty, loving kindness, intelligence and gratitude. Then everything is ready for you. You have to show your ticket or number. Then, okay, thank you for your participation and good attention. Any question? Okay. Day by day we discussed, very special doctrines in Buddhism. Sometimes, we repeat something. But day by day we go to the deeper level. If you participate to this class continuously, you can see the difference. Day by day we go to the deeper level. Then on the other side, you should have to practice meditation in your day-to-day life. And read this article after you go home. Okay? Thank you for everybody. Now the time to transfer these merits to our departed relatives. And may our departed relatives and all people in the world who wish some merits from us, they may receive these merits and also they may enhance their merits, spirituality and may they attain good life, and finally may they attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits to our departed relatives and other beings in the world. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits. By receiving these merits, may they enhance their psychic energy, and also may they keep their eye on you too. May they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's transfer these merits, guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu sāsanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu desanam. Ākāsaṭṭhā ca bhummaṭṭhā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all these good activities, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May your all righteous wishes meet with success. May all of us attain final bliss of liberation. Dukkham pantāca niddukkhaṃ bhayam pantāca nibhayam sokam pantāca nissokāṃ hantu sambe pipānino. Dukin pelena sat dukin midetvā bien pelena sat bien eti vetvā. Sovinte venesat somnas vetvā nitin meham sat suvapat vetvā. All the blessings be with you. May the triple gem bless you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.